laid the Sussxes card on the table as the sale cheating tricks wreaks havoc on source of funds. The publisher of the ginger-haired memoirs did an old record company trick from back in the day. It shipped out 1 million copies just to say it was a million seller for week 1. The thing is though, it fell around 40% short of that goal and sales have fallen off a cliff since, which means they'll have a lot of returns from booksellers. In Australia, a book on finance more than doubled the sales of Spare when it was released on November the 22nd. Spare has been reduced to half price on numerous websites and a department store had it stacked on tables by the checkout for 50% off. So, not a hit here. There's absolutely no way that 2,500 people read this book and rated it at 4.5 on Amazon. It's not possible in any universe. So that's a bunch of paid reviewers that the publisher hired. The book itself is laughable, not just for the content, but for the way it's written. And it's 400 pages of this bull. Only the hardest Diana fans and journalists would have sat through it for real. And journalists are only reading it because they're getting paid to. The bestseller lists are absolute lies and bullshittery. Publishing houses select the books they want to push onto the list, or push to number 1. It's only a matter of money. You send out tons of freebies, make sure there are tons of pre-orders, which can be done via vouchers. You cut the price, etc. There are lots of tricks. Bestseller numbers haven't meant anything for a long time, except that someone had the money to pay for the title and to get institutional distribution. After the press tour, news of the book has pretty much disappeared, except for the raunchy jokes, which is very telling. Problem is, they don't have any relevant current experiences to generate real interest. Harry's book was only sold to bookstores in multiples of 12. So the tell-all sold 629,300 hardcover copies in its first week in the US, well short of the 831,300 copies sold by Barack Obama at Promised Land back in 2020. Bestsellers list overall, or for a category, it's been something like number 560 overall, no vanity sales, and number 1 in my subcategory, but maybe 75 in my genre. The genre is romance. Some genres subcategories are not as competitive as others. People who put a category listing outside of major categories like romance are not taken as seriously as people who disclose their overall rank for a book. Top 1000 or higher is pretty respectable. The norm is to list whether a book hit the top 100. The company that does this is called a vanity publisher, and his book is a vanity book, like a vanity project. They edit it, format it, do PR for it if you pay extra. The vast majority of the books are probably kept in the garage or the basement. Meghan managed to get a handful into local bookstores on consignment, but they returned them when they didn't sell. With Amazon, I think if someone buys one, then he gets notified and he ships it to them for the house. I'd normally be skeptical, but it's definitely pretty interesting, not to mention that many books were not sold for full price, or were done through promotions where Amazon offered them for less, likely because they got the publisher to fork over money for the opportunity to spin some numbers. Amazon gave away thousands of Spare audiobooks for free if the person signed up for a free month of their audiobooks. Amazon is counting on consumers not cancelling their audio subscription before the end of the free month.